Hello YouTube, it's me, it's Michael B. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and today I've got a question for you. Do you want to see a bunch of leaked Arcade1Up prototype cabs? Well, if you do, stand by because I got a bunch to show you right after this. So that's right guys, in today's video I got some really cool stuff to share with you as I've received a bunch of leaked images of prototype Arcade1Up cabs they were thinking about making, whether it never made it to retail or whatever. This is something they were working on and I think you guys will be interested. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you so much everybody for checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate the support. If this is your first time to the channel, you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, all that YouTube stuff. So I'm sure by this point, everybody and their brother has seen 19K Vox's video that he put out yesterday showing off a prototype Arcade1Up 720 cab that goes back to the list, one of those cabs that we never thought were ever going to be possible. Well, there's a bunch of other prototype cabs that were included with these images, and I've got them to show you today. So there's always people out there that say, why can't Arcade1Up do this cab, or why can't Arcade1Up do that cab? Believe me, a lot of times they've tried to make the cab, and for one reason or another, it never made it to retail. Those of us who have been following Arcade1Up for a long time, we all remember seeing videos of CES and the special trailer with cabs and pinball machines that were prototypes, never meant to see the light of day, just meant to see if they could sell them to retailers. Well, what we have here is kind of like a warehouse space or a storage space, maybe the back room of the Arcade1Up store in Florida, with a bunch of prototype cabs to show you what Arcade1Up was working on and may still work on in the future. So first up guys, of course, is the cabinet that 19K Fox showed off yesterday. You can see the Arcade1Up logo on the side, and this is a Deluxe 720. Like I talked about on James Hates Everything stream last night, I mean, they did a really good job with this. This is one of those cabs I never thought they would make, and they wouldn't do a good job with it, but it's got the light up marquee, it's got the boombox up top, it's got the correct cabinet shape. I think this looks really cool. So kudos to 19K Fox and also Cornercade, who says he also announced this at the same time. 720 demo cab was at least made. Of course, you know, where it goes from there, who knows? Maybe never sees the light of day. But you'll notice with this picture, it's a little bit expanded, and we've got another cab there with some interesting art on it. We'll come back to that one because you're going to be really interested in what that cab is. So the first other prototype cab I want to show you guys is Paperboy. You know, I always complain about the Arcade1Up MK or Midway Legacy cabs, the MK2 Deluxe cab. Paperboy shouldn't be on it. It's not the right way to play. We don't want to play it unless it's got the proper controls, but as we can see here, they did work on a Paperboy. I will say this looks more like a mod cab than it does a prototype cab, because this in all actuality is essentially a Star Wars cab that has been modded with Paperboy art. Then it has the Paperboy handlebar controller included. So you're probably saying this looks like a mod, but this is in fact Arcade1Up from the same one, because if you notice in the last picture with 720, with the Arcade1Up logo and the 720 demo, you'll get the other half of that cab. And I think we can start to see what that cab might have been right now. For people familiar with the game, you might see some pretty familiar imaging, but it looks super weird. So maybe we'll talk about that one last. That'll be the final reveal. Who knows? But anyways, that's Paperboy with the correct handlebar controls in a Star Wars cab. And of course, we've got another one right next to it that we're going to talk about next. So here, right next to our Paperboy cab, as you can see, is Spy Hunter. This is another game people have been asking for a long time. There you can see the Don Johnson lookalike up there. This obviously is a Spy Hunter put into an Outrun cab, Outrun sit-down cab. You know, I'm not a big fan of the sit-down cabs, but for people hoping Arcade1Up would do a Spy Hunter, it looks like they at least worked on it. You can see the unique handlebar control for Spy Hunter. There's the shifter. There's the correct art. This is what it would have looked like if they had got it off the ground, I guess. Or at least this is a modified Outrun with it running and with the controls to see how it works. Anyways, next to that, we've got another exciting leak cab. This is another one of the deluxe, kind of like 720 was. This one's really, really cool. So you remember how much I hated that Atari 50th cab? Like, did not like it because it wasn't arcade accurate. How cool would it have been, instead of Atari 50th, if we got a dedicated Pong stand-up arcade? I mean, this thing is beautiful. It might not be for everybody, but I think this is one of the nicest and coolest looking Arcade1Ups to date. Here it is in the deluxe form factor. There's the wood trim. Of course, they added these lines, Pong, but the front is 100% like almost accurate, or at least it looks accurate to the original arcade. The only thing missing is it doesn't have a coin door, but I heard rumors this would have a unique coin door, unique to Pong. Anyways, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. I love this Pong stand-up arcade. I had heard a rumor a couple years back from the Brick that they were possibly doing a Pong and ended up being the pub table, but this is what I imagined, and it's really cool to see it. It would have been so cool to see this come to fruition. Maybe not one everybody would buy, but I love the Pong pub table. Stand-up Pong, it would have found a place in my arcade. It's one of those showpiece cabs. Like, I would have said this is possibly one of those special cabs. It looks so cool. But what's that right next to Pong? So probably the heaviest rumored cab for the last couple years, one that I'm always attached to because I really want a Robotron, has been either a Robotron or a Smash TV. This is a leaked image of a Smash TV that they built out. It looks like it's actually in the old Legacy cab, like the MK Legacy, because you can notice the wings here in front of the marquee, but this is basically what it would look like. There's your 4 sticks, which we confirmed all along. That's how it would be. There's the Arena 1. There's the specific artwork. It looks really cool. And if I can go back to the other image here, you can see on the side, this is with a riser, and obviously it would have the right art. So this one's a bit of a WTF one, and this one's specifically for my buddy Ristalgia. You all remember Ristalgia was the biggest fan of the Babycades. He thought this was a genius idea, gonna take the world by storm. Here we can see the Paw Patrol and Pac-Man, which actually did come to retail, but there was another one listed on the Randy's Records leak list. Never ever came to fruition. Here apparently is the prototype of Ristalgia's favorite superhero, the Batman Arcade1Up Babycade. Now, I always thought this was weird because they have such a strong relationship with Marvel. To shift over into the DC realm was, it seemed far-fetched, but yeah, at one point they made a prototype Babycade, Batman Babycade. Now for Arcade1Up Pinball prototypes, we all remember the box for the Universal Classics Pinball that we saw Back to the Future, E.T., and Jaws on the box. But here's an interesting one. This one may have already come out before, but here you can see Star Wars, you can see Marvel, which we know, but next to it is a Military Madness themed Williams table. You have to assume it's the exact same one as Attack from Mars, but the overall theme would have been switched to Medieval Madness. Not the best picture. I mean, it's just a sliver of the machine showing the glass, but yeah, they were at one point looking at doing a Medieval Madness Arcade1Up pinball machine. Alright, so I'm going back to the 720, and I'm looking at this now, and if you haven't figured it out, obviously, there's some Tetris blocks on it, and you can see the T from Tetris there. But this is where it gets really weird and really stupid. So this is a Tetris cab, and that tracks. I had heard from Ristalgia and a couple other people that Arcade1Up had gone after the Tetris arcade license to release a Tetris machine. Whether it be like a modern-day Tetris or the classic arcade Tetris, I don't really know. There was conflicting reports on that. But it looks like at least at one point they were making a Tetris themed cab. This is also in a Legacy cab as well, probably a Midway Legacy. But then we go back to the actual Paperboy picture and you can get a better look at it. It's a Tetris cab, but it looks like it also may be half and half, with the other half being our buddy P-Dub's favorite arcade game, and one of those ones the fans have been asking for. Yes, John D had mentioned they had the license, but they were always worried about what else they would put on a Q-Bert cab. It looks like at one point they were trying to do a Tetris and Qbert collab cab, believe it or not. How weird is that? So I have another image of the Spy Hunter here, a close-up of the Spy Hunter. Also shows a little bit more of the Pong pub table and Paperboy, but here is the devil in the details on the Tetris / Qbert collab cab or combo cab. My God, this thing is stupid. But anyways, at one point, they were going to try to bring to market a Tetris and Qbert combination cab. So Q-Bert was alive and well at Arcade1Up at one point. They were just doing really stupid things with him. So anyways, guys, those are just the leaked images I came across yesterday. I wanted to make sure you saw them tied in with the 720 to know that this isn't just something somebody built in their basement or, you know, something somebody built in their shed. These are official Arcade1Up prototypes. Stuff they were working on, stuff they were hoping to bring to market. So the question is, out of these prototypes that you've seen, which do you think is the most probable? Obviously, 720 and Pong look like they were the furthest along as they were in the deluxe form factor. The other ones are, you know, cabs that were basically just conversions of other cabs, mostly Midway Legacy, Star Wars, and the Outrun sit-down. So maybe they weren't as far along in the process and weren't as likely or probable as Pong and the 720. Who knows? Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Which one of these prototypes do you think we'll ever see come to market or is most probable? And most importantly, which one of these prototypes would you be most excited to see come to market, and which ones would you buy? Anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. Tell your friends about me, and I'll talk to you next time.